Our VSCX10 and our TRX-4 Sport are fully rebuilt and are ready for their next adventure. How's it going, guys? Josh here with Trax RC, and today we will be discussing what we have done to our Vanquish VSCX10 build and also our Traxxas TRX-4 Sport. But before we start, we want to invite you guys over to check out our website and also our Facebook page. On our website, you will find general information about our RC cars, us, and our channel. And then our Facebook page, you guys will see behind the scenes stuff that isn't shown on our channel, and we'll also start posting a few videos on there before we post them public on YouTube. So make sure you check out our website and also our Facebook page. There'll be links down below. Alright, so back to the RCs. We have been very busy in the workshop lately rebuilding our TRX-4 Sport and also our VSCX10 build. And we also removed any rust on the cars with lemon juice, and we have a link to the video right up here where we show you guys how to do that. We also changed a lot on both of these rigs, and we're going to go over what we did to these during the rebuild right now. We're going to start off with our TRX-4 Sport. So like we just mentioned, when we rebuilt both of these rigs, we removed rust with lemon juice. But the bad thing that happened is that there was rust on the links on our TRX-4 Sport. So we took all the links off, soaked them in a thing of lemon juice, and we pulled them out overnight, and the black finish on the links was just completely gone. I really was not expecting that to happen. We plan on getting some stainless steel links in the future. It may be hard to see on camera, but there's a lot of like orange spots on these links, and it's just really ugly. Another thing that I'm really shocked about is that when I was working on the links, I noticed that one of the rear top links was bent. It was a really small tweak. It wasn't really a bend. I tried bending it back, but it was so small and minimal that it didn't even do anything. So in the future, we plan on getting some stainless steel links. Those will just prevent rust, and they'll look a lot better than these things. Another thing that we did during the rebuild of this Sport is we swapped out the 30 weight oil in the shocks for 50 weight oil. With all the weight that we added to this body up high, the axles just kind of like flop around with the 30 weight oil. So the 50 weight oil will just minimize that movement a little bit, hopefully making this thing perform a lot better. Moving on, we also threw on the set of incision wide hubs that come with the bead blocks that we have installed. We didn't know that it came with a wide and narrow set. Previously we had the narrow set installed, and we just figured we would try the wide set out. Being that we added all this weight to the top, the wide set will just make us a lot more stable on side hills. We also put this next to our axial capra, and the capra is just a tiny bit wider. It is basically capra width now. And I honestly just really like the stance of the wide hubs. The low front end and the wide offset really makes it look good. And the portals just add to that effect. And the last thing that we did to this RC is we removed the white LEDs that we had installed on the inner fenders. So those white LEDs that we had installed right here on the inner fenders were part of the Proline Universal Light Kit. We have the red LEDs mounted right here in the rear bumper, and the white ones, we planned on using them as rock lights, but it just didn't really work out. The way we had them set up, it only lit up like the top portion of the shock, and it was like really bright. It didn't look good. We just took them out. We didn't want to deal with it, and it just added a lot extra wires that were really unnecessary. And while we were working on all the wires and stuff like that, we actually minimized a lot of things. We shortened wires and all that, and it looks a lot cleaner. And we actually had an extra Y harness in here that we didn't even have plugged into anything. That's how messy this rat's nest was. It's still messy, don't get me wrong, but it looks a lot better. And that's everything that we did to our TRX-4 Sport in the rebuild. Now let's move on to the VSCX10 So first of all, let me just start off by saying, yes, I know the winch line is not supposed to be like this. I don't have the DX5C, which we run with this RC right now, so I can't pull the winch line in, so you guys are just gonna have to bear with me. I hate it just as much as you. So with this RC during the rebuild, we removed all the rust, just like the TRX-4 Sport. We also repainted our Scalar Fab front bumper with bed liner, and it just looks so nice. We did like the look of the beat up bumper, but it was starting to rust a little bit underneath, so we just wanted to protect that metal. And a big issue that we were having with this bumper is that we kept on bending it and breaking it off. So long story short, we had to modify the mounting tabs on the bumper to correspond with the body that we run. And part of that modification was to cut off the excess mounting tab, and that just really sacrificed a lot of durability that we were not thinking about at the time. So basically, when we hit a rock really hard on the bumper, it would bend the mount, and then it would tweak the bumper, which then moved the winch, and then the winch would hit the grill of the body, and then the body would be smashed in. It was just not good. It got really annoying, and what we did to fix it was we wrapped some zip ties around the mount. So as you can see here, we wrapped a zip tie right around the mounting tab, and that prevents it, hopefully, we haven't run this RC yet, hopefully it prevents it from tilting backwards. So the issue that we were having is that the mounts would separate, and hopefully that zip tie will close it in and keep it nice and secure. So after we fixed the front bumper and got all that sorted out, we added 50 weight oil in these Proline Scalar shocks. Previously we had 35 weight oil, I believe, and we wanted to see if 50 weight was any better. We were happy with the performance of the weight that we previously had, but again, we just wanted to see what the 50 weight would do in performance. And just playing with the suspension a little bit on the bench, it feels a lot better. Moving on, another thing that we did to this VSCX10 is we changed out the gray diff covers that we had for these red ones. We didn't have anything wrong with the gray diff covers, but we just wanted to change up the look a little bit. And then while we were working on the rear axle, cleaning that up and swapping out the diff cover, we noticed that the ring gear was not in the best shape. There were only 2 teeth on it that were chewed up, but what's surprising is that it wasn't making any clicking noise, so we're glad that we found that. We went ahead and threw a new ring gear and locker in there, so hopefully we don't have that problem again. So the last thing that we did to our VSCX10 during the rebuild is we did some work with the body. So this body is not the most durable, and we have been hitting some very hard trails with our VSCX10 and basically the grill was about to fall off. The camera won't pick it up, but there is a crack going from the edge right here where these zip ties are all the way right here, and then there's another crack going from right here all the way right here. So we had to do something and quick. So what we did is we added some zip ties right here. We really had to do that. It just strengthened it so much more. And then underneath the body, we loaded it with shoe glue and duct tape, and guys, it feels stronger than when it was new. Another issue that we were having is that the roll cage would always pop through the body, and we just put some shoe glue all along the mounts to hopefully hold those mounts in place. And remember those white LEDs that we took out of our TRX-4? They're now headlights in this VSCX10 So this 2012 Jeep Axial JK body comes with light buckets in the bag, and we had them installed, but we didn't have any lights in them. Now we do. We have the Proline LEDs mounted in the light buckets, held in with shoe glue, and then for the wiring, we routed the wires up here, and then we stripped away some of the insulation on the wire from this light bar, because the wire from that light bar routes back here to this Y harness. So we just stripped away some of the wire and then directly soldered the LED wires to the light bar. That way we didn't have to have 2 Y harnesses on this body. And that's all the changes that we did to the Vanquish VSCX10 during the rebuild. And now both of these crawlers are ready for their next outing. So we hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like, share, and don't forget to subscribe. See you next time on Trax RC.